No, I don't crop. I don't see the point in it. Yeah, you haven't seen a fish photograph. Firstly, I will never, in fact I have to do it once in a competition for someone. I understand why people do it, but I will never do it. Is, you know, when you catch a nice fish and you lay it out, the tape measure and photograph it, that's great. I can't bring myself to do it because it's not my thing. I call it the grip and grin. It's a photograph I have to take. I'll be honest, I'd be perfectly happy not to shoot them. You know, I love...
These fish on the ground are purely because we're by ourselves. We want to
100%, yeah.
really quickly and put it back.
Oh no, I've got nothing about course. I don't mind people doing it at all.
I don't like them either. What's the alternative?
Don't photograph it. But seriously, I take it, I put 100%. If I'm on my own, I'll just drop them down. But I know you want people want a visual record. And some people say to me, oh, why didn't you put it on a tripod and put it on a timer? I mean, I don't want any photographs myself, so I never photograph myself. Your only other option, I think, possibly is, you know, is kind of kneel down, thumb that. But a lot of people like to know how long their fish measure, don't they? So, but that's just a simple, you know, it's the grip and grin. It's the guy, as one of our clients in Ireland. You know, obviously I like bass. We all like bass. They're an incredibly sexy fish to photograph. You know, they can be, especially when that dorsal fin jumps up. Apparently there are some tricks to get it going up, but
you should know.
20 years for it.
I won't go. No, but you know, I do like bass obviously a lot. I love all the different colours they've got. That's particularly good conditioned bass. Now I tend to like, you know, this guy is happy. You know, I know there's lots of carp photographs and they're like serious. You know, we're happy and we like catching fish. You know, I'll say it gives a smile. I mean, why not? You know, look at me. But on a grip and grin, which I don't mind shooting them. It's fine. I like shooting guys, or girls or boys with fish. Often they're not. I suppose they don't feel a creative urge in me. But that's just me being a snob again. The most important part, I've said it a few times already, eyes. Okay, the eyes in the photograph. Now, if you shoot a portrait of a person, a good portrait, the eyes will be absolutely pin sharp. You don't know you're doing it, but if I show you a photograph now of a person, the first thing you'll do is look at the eyes. You don't know you are, but I promise you are. But in the fish photograph, this is where fishing photography is really strange, because firstly we photograph fish, and secondly, we do it differently. We do things differently. The eye of the fish, I mean, that's what you want to focus on. If you're going for your kind of classic grip and grin, you know, bloke, girl or boy holding the fish, focus on a phone. Can you move your focus point around?
Yeah.
Because they're great. So you want to move. Just make sure. Look to the eye of the fish and just think. I know your camera on a phone. I guess he's gonna do what it wants. But your photograph will have more. I see a lot of, how should we say, interesting photographs on the internet. Fishing photographs, the bulk of which are out of focus. It's not hard to focus, but immediately I've lost impact. You know, I see a big fish, oh great, but I've lost any desire to look at it any longer if that eye is out of focus. That's me again being a photographer, but it's also you don't know how that. I'm telling you, that is the way you react without knowing. So just look for the eye. That's an easy kind of shot. You see how we're cradling the fish? You know, I know I've done shots like that with bass, which I kind of, I'm okay, I'll photograph them how you want, but you know, we try and look after these fish, that was to go back, so you must do what you think is right. And then again, we have this, you know, it's a stunning fish. I don't know why, you know what? I don't know why their fins go blue sometimes, but when they light up, you get it with bonefish on the flats, sometimes their fins light up and it's breathtaking. And again, the fin he didn't do anything to the fish, but the fin is sticking up, which is nice. But my question was, why such a boring background? Because again, I'm trying to hide where we are, which is, it's frustrating. I don't want to do it, but I kind of, you know, we have to try and look after where we fish, not because of us, because more unscrupulous people who might kill a bunch of fish. So I'm trying to make it look as nice as I can. And I do have shots of the background, but it kind of says, hello, this is where we were, which is, I hate secret squirrel stuff, but you've got to try and look after where we are a little bit. Oh yeah, okay. I cop a bit of flack now and then, which is absolutely fine. Quite a lot of it over the years has been along the lines of, you're keeping a fish out of the water for too long, to which my reply would be something else, but I don't. But, I understand people's concerns, but if you notice one thing with all those photographs, firstly, I hope they're in focus. Every single fish is near or in the water. Look, I love bass, and there's plenty of people in here who know far more about bass than me. I've got no problem with that. But I think bass are a hell of a tough fish, personally. They're not like pollock that just die on you. I think if you look after bass, they're generally pretty well. I tend to fight my fish quite hard because I want them in hard. I want them in green, so they go back nice. I will work a nice fish. I want to get photographs of it, but they're always Steve's in the pool there, Keane's in the pool here. They're all these fish are in and around the water. So, yeah, I want to be. I'm ready. I'm with. And the photograph before of Joe. I'm ready. I want to take the photograph, but there's often, and I've seen there's far better fish than this have not photographed because the conditions I don't believe are right for me to work that fish and then get it back alive. Because I want to put my fish back as personal choice. But you know, if we've got a crashing sea on a beach, I can't. It's not right to give that fish the gears, get him in through the surf, he or she, pick him up, and then clean him off, pose and photograph. I believe it's too long a time for the fish to be out of the water. But when I'm in a controlled environment, like here, I'll try and do something with the fish. I'll try and make it look as nice as I can. But it's never, you can see, I would hope, in some of these shots, see water dripping off. The fish comes in. I'm generally asking the angler to kneel down, so the amount of lifting the fish out of the water is as minimal as possible. The angler's in and around the water, just up, bang, drop down, maybe a couple of times. Do what you need to do. You can get some close-ups as you're, as you're reviving the fish. I'm just trying to, I've got to photograph fish for my living, is what I do. But I'm trying to do what I believe is right by them. And I do cop abuse occasionally from people saying you're doing this wrong, but my answer is, well, go do it better. Is it right to manipulate reality like that? That is not what was truly there. And it's not me messing around on software. The shot before, when I turn around, oh my jeez, it's awesome. But I can't tell the angler where to stand because it's not, it's not my job. So I've got to hope he or she's in the right place. And this was a case of, I know what I can get, but I have to know how to get there. And you have to decide. But for me, it's a creative decision. I want to make it look kind of cooler than it was. And I knew what I had in front of me, but I had to just control my camera, bring the exposure right down, and see, if this angler here is there, is black on black, so he's lost. If he's here, he or she is lost. But it's, again, by pure chance, I had a break. This obviously was lighting up the other side a minute ago, the shot before, turn around, and by pure chance, I don't know who this is, this guy has stood, and the light's coming around the corner, and I can place them in that and then dial right down. And I'm trying to just make you almost look at the shot and go, hang on, what's going on? It's official, and it's a purely creative decision. And sorry, can you tell me to stop? Please, you must tell me to stop.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is another thing I get a lot of abuse for as well, look, I love bass, I do, but they're not the biggest fish in the world. And I said, yeah, damn right. People say you shouldn't push a fish towards the lens. Well, I've got two words for that, and I won't read them here. Damn right I do it. I make no pretense about not doing it either. I want to make fish and fishing look impressive. I love bass. They're sexy. They're impressive looking. But this is a fish. I think it's about 7 odd pounds. So it's a nice fish. But this guy's. I say, Nick, can you push the fish to my lens? I'm not trying to give you. Sometimes I am, but here I'm not trying to say to you that is how big the fish is, because that would be a freaking £60 bass. I'm just trying to make it look impressive. And if people don't like it, well, nothing I can do about it. So, you know, if that fish comes back and is photographed against his body, it looks like nothing. But it's just, to me, I know it's reality and I know it's true, but I want to, it's my job, I want to show fishing off. You know, I've got to get paid, obviously, but I want to try and make it look impressive. And that's one way, to me, of making what I think are massively impressive fish look even better. And if people don't like it, again.
Henry, but how does it look bigger? Because you've got a skimmer in there for scales, and his hand's enormous, so it doesn't look bigger.
I agree with you, and I've argued this 100 times.
I don't understand how it looks bigger.
But the fun police will say, and I agree with you. I want to show that. I want to show.
You've got a skimmer there.
Yeah.
I know how big a skimmer is.
But I've got to say, you shouldn't be doing it. Your fish looks bigger.
Yeah.
I just couldn't give it. So. I've got to. I'm mature now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh yes. This is what. With a long lens, you cannot do this.
No.
You know, long lens. Sometimes I aren't long lens, and this is what I've got. But this. I am deliberately making this fish look as impressive as possible. Yeah. Nice and wide. Push them up like that. Eyes pin sharp focus. I do not rehook lures. There's pure chance it's hooked there. Again, pure chance the fin's up. And again, I'm hiding the background because I'm a lying sod. Same bass, I don't know what I'm saying here, sorry. Oh, I do know what I'm saying. There's an example, sorry, okay, about this again. I think this fish was about £9 odd, back in the last year on a do live stick, Tom. And there's quite a lot going on, incredibly simple and boring photograph because the light was pants. But that is the same fish, and I know what to me looks more impressive. That. Yeah, that's, well, it's got a £9 fish. Well, it is. But it's a relatively wide lens against the angler's body. But again, you see what I've done? That's do you notice here how I've lost detail here, but I've got it all here? The difference is the sky here, sure I could use fast, but I don't like it. The sky here, it's just flat, there's no contrast. And I've lost detail. So here, I'm standing slightly up, photographing this lad Clive, and I'm cutting it out. So I'm basically cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm giving my sensor, my camera, the ability to deal with the entire exposure, and then it kind of holds the fish. But you know, the fish looks bigger, and that's more technically a correct photograph. But you have to decide what